So Place got raided, and this is of course very controversial in the Geometry Dash community, so I want to talk about it. So first of all, I'd better explain what Place is before doing anything, and if you don't know, Place is a level created by... well, that's complicated. The project was started by Sputniks, however, in reality, the level was created by a collective 14,000 people. Basically, what Place is it's very similar to Reddit's r/place April Fool's event, and what that basically is every 5 minutes you can place one pixel. And with this, people try to draw. On Reddit, it always ends up being really interesting because there ends up being these sort of draw turf wars where people want to take over certain parts of the canvas and they want to expand their drawing, and it becomes an all-out frenzy and war. People will create teams to keep their drawing alive, and it's just really fun at the end of the day. Sputniks effectively created that, but as a GD editor thing. Effectively what he did is he made a full-on remake of the Geometry Dash editor, and then he used this remake to create Geometry Dash Place. Effectively, same concept, but it's a block. You can place a single block once every 5 minutes. This level is an absolute chaotic, claustrophobic mess of decoration done by random people, and I don't mean that in an insult. This level is beautifully chaotic, it's hilarious, and at the end of the day, it's exactly what you'd expect if you give 14,000 people the ability to place one block every 5 minutes in the same level. It's literally exactly what you would expect from that. Originally, the level was impossible, however, after adding a couple things, less things than you'd expect to need to be added, by the way, it became possible. It's kind of mind-blowing how vanilla this level still is, despite the fixes. Like, it's still Place. He didn't have to do that much to fix it, which is insane to me. In terms of gameplay, it's just as messy as you would expect from something like this. Most of it's probably around medium to hard demon difficulty, however there's a couple random list demon difficulty wave sections, and on top of that there's a dash orb frame perfect near the end of the level, so, you know. Personally, I think the most fun thing about Place isn't beating it. Beating it's kinda lame and not fun. What I think is really fun about Place is getting a run and then just falling into the skyblock, because then you get to see all the chaotic shit that's above the level, and even then you get to basically sit there and be like, oh, I wonder where I'm gonna die. It's not, I wonder if I'm gonna die, because you're going to. You're upside down. You will eventually fall into the sky void, but when you fall up, it's so funny because you just see all this random chaotic mess of stuff that you don't normally get to see. It's like endlessly explorable. It's like the Farlands in Minecraft. I'm not kidding when I say that I spent maybe 2 hours playing this level just intentionally falling into the skybox to see what I could find. It's unironically fun. However, because we can't have nice things, this level needs to have a controversy. And what is that controversy? The level's rated. Yeah, I don't know what RobTop was smoking when he rated this, but he rated it. So let's talk about it. Now, right off the bat, let's get my personal bias out of the way so you can go into this video with the right mindset. I am glad that Place is rated. I'm actually extremely happy about it. I consider it a huge W for the rate standards, and the reason mainly being, one of my biggest complaints about the raid standards is that it's too hard to get a level rated. And no, to the commenters on my raid standards video, it's not because I can't get a level rated. I don't really care to begin with. It's more so because there are levels I genuinely like that other people make that don't get rated. And I wholeheartedly think these creators deserve more attention. Place getting rated is a W because this level embodies a lot of what I say about other levels where, yeah, the level's not great, but there was a ton of effort, creativity, and honestly passion put into this project. And as shitposty and chaotic and disorganized as it is, it's cool. And that's all that matters. And on top of that, people are trying to beat it, so why not rate it? And that's kind of why I'm glad this is rated. But there are controversies that go along with it that I think are still interesting nonetheless. Now, everything I'm about to say is going off of Rob's current rate standards, not the ones I want the game to have. In my personal opinion, this shouldn't even be controversial. People should be happy that this is rated, but that's just me, you know. Opinions, but yeah, let's discuss what this means for Rob's rate standards. So there are several problems with this level getting rated. However, I think our best bet is to just start with the obvious, and I think the biggest issue with this level getting rated is the gameplay. Guys, I think I found a level with worse gameplay than the Hell series. Yeah, no, I'm not going to beat around the bush with this one. The gameplay's shit. However, to anyone who thinks that's some kind of surprise of a take, or like is really shocked that I think that, we are talking about place. Going into this, why would you expect the gameplay to be good? Now, that doesn't mean there aren't some things about the gameplay that I find interesting. I find it really, really cool that the beginning of Bloodbath and the end of Cataclysm sync with the retrospective parts of the song. That is really fucking cool. At the end of the day, though, the worst parts hold the level back, and yeah, no, the gameplay in this level's not good. You have stuff like random frame-perfect dash orb timings that come out of nowhere, and multiple routes, some of which really do feel like secret ways, but aren't because you can't really stay on them for that long. I mean, really, all I need to tell you is that the level's rated Extreme Demon, and that's an accurate rating, despite the level feeling like Medium Demon for most of the gameplay. The gameplay, of course, is not this level's biggest issue, however, because, I mean, it's place. You're expecting bad gameplay. The parts that do make it a bit of a strange rate, however, is the decoration within. First and foremost, there's the Bad Dragon logo. Now, for any of the children who are in my audience, please close your ears, and I'm not going to be showing anything on screen, and I'm going to put this delicately for YouTube. But, Bad Dragon makes, they make some interesting toys, and, those toys, are not the ones that kids play with. They're the ones that adults play with, and, yeah, it's furry themed, and they make a lot of very interesting toys, and I'm gonna shut up now before I lose money. Not gonna lie, seeing the Bad Dragon logo here at all just came across as a shock, because it's so out of left field. Like, the level is nothing but references to Geometry Dash and other random memes, like, here's the Devil Vortex saws, here's the beginning of Bloodbath, here's Sockupin Circles, and, like, it's all just that caliber of stuff. And then suddenly, Bad Dragon. Now, what I'm about to say is something I don't agree with, keep that in mind. However, it's worth throwing out there that Geometry Dash levels have been deleted from the servers due to not safe for work content. An example being Lust Letter. And Bad Dragon is, a very not safe for work thing. So, this getting rated could easily throw other levels into the question, like, oh, why was Lust Letter taken down? Lust Letter doesn't show any nudity, it just references it, so yeah, it's a bit of a bizarre thing. Like, I know I might be overreacting to one piece of art in the level, but you gotta understand, that's how the rate standards in this game work. That, of course, is not the biggest issue with the level. That's just like a nitpick. That's just haha funny. But there is a legitimate issue with this level that needs to be addressed. A lot of the assets in this level are taken from other levels, and I doubt there was permission. And this has always been a big no-no in the GD community. This is why Natural Disaster can't get rated. And I just think it's really, really funny that Place got rated when a lot of it was just lifted from other levels. I mean, again, it might not seem like that big of a deal, but really look at how many things in this level were just taken from other levels. That is not good. Obviously, in the concept of the actual project that Sputniks ran, it's fine that people did this. Like, no one did anything wrong here, but having it be in a rated level, that's when it starts to get a little bit questionable. The final reason this level's controversial, I really am afraid to address. Not because it's hard to talk about or it's dangerous for YouTube or anything like that. It's because I don't want people thinking that it's my opinion. So please keep in mind in this video that I'm just explaining why this level's controversial. None of these are my opinions. This is not a review. The only part of this video that serves the purpose of being a review is my explanation of what the gameplay is like. These are not my opinions. These are the internet's opinions. I'm saying the level's getting controversy. I'm not saying I agree. So please do not take this as my opinion. The biggest reason Place is so controversial is because it's the next thinking space. That might have pissed some people off, and keep in mind, this is not my opinion. This opinion has been universally stated on Twitter, Discord, YouTube comments, Reddit. I've seen it everywhere. And it is not my opinion. To explain what people are actually talking about when they say this, the entire criticism around thinking space is what it means for the rate standards as a whole. Basically, a lot of people would pull this argument. They'd be like, why is my level not rated? Thinking space is rated, but my level's not rated. My level is easily better than thinking space. Now, this criticism can be valid in the right context, like, I feel comparing Bloody Knuckles to Thinking Space, which is what I did in my rate standards video, I feel that makes sense, because Bloody Knuckles and Thinking Space, regardless which one you like more, are basically the same story. It's an old, shitty, impossible level that someone went back and verified. So you can ask the question of why is Bloody Knuckles not rated when it's literally the same situation as Thinking Space. However, that logic does not apply universally, and you can't just make a shitty recent tab level and expect it to be rated because Thinking Space is rated. The thing is, people treat Thinking Space like it is the absolute dustbin of this community, and don't get me wrong, it's not a good level, but you look at it and you can tell that a lot of passion and creativity went into the gameplay and the decoration. Now, on the other hand of things, we have Place. Now, Place is in a weird situation because 14,000 people worked on it, and it was clearly a lot of effort for Sputniks, but for the people who built the parts, a lot of them were just shitposting. I'm not saying Thinking Space didn't have effort put into it, I'm saying it's literally the exact same story as Thinking Space minus the old impossible level part. It's a random level that clearly had a bunch of effort put into it, but it looks terrible and it plays terribly. And yet it's rated because of the story behind it. So where people are basically going with this argument is they're basically just saying that now we're going to get a bunch of YouTube comments and a bunch of GD comments basically being like, my level should be rated because Place is rated, meanwhile their level is literally something straight from the recent tab. Again, if you want my opinion, I think Place should be rated. I think it's really, really cool, it's a really interesting oddity in the GD community, but this is just explaining the controversy, really. And yeah, I don't really know what this means for the rate standards, honestly. One thing I can say, however, is that from my own personal experience, Place is extremely fun to play. Not fun to try to beat. If you're actually trying to beat this level, it becomes one of the most unfun things I could possibly mention in this game. No. It's not fun to play because of when you try to beat it. It's fun to play because I really, really love dying in random places in the Sky Void. It's so fun. Hell, I'd recommend setting up a macro, turning on safe mode, and then just disabling the macro whenever you want to flip upside down. It's so fucking fun. But yeah, that's my take on Place. I don't disagree with its rate, but I also do see where people are coming from. I guess the two inevitable questions are, will Place get unrated? I don't know. I don't have an answer to that question. I really hope it doesn't, and I kinda don't think it will, because it's been rated for a while. But I hope Place doesn't get unrated, but I have no idea. The other follow-up question would obviously be, would I be mad if it got unrated? Nah, not really. the level would still exist and it'd still be playable, just as long as it doesn't get, like, blacklisted or something. I'm fine with it. Realistically, I don't really care about the outcome of this level, because either way, you can still play it and enjoy it. I've stopped caring about if levels have a star rate or not, because the rate standards in this game are so bad that I've basically given up on them. But, with that being said, I think this level does deserve its rate. At the end of the day, the only thing a creator gets from having their level rated is creator points. That's really it. So, do I think Sputniks deserves a creator point for this level? Yes, I do. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I definitely think this will be among the ranks of one of the weirder things to happen in this community. Thank you for hearing out my thoughts on this level, and I hope you enjoyed.